Social Media University. I think anybody who researches like making money online, one of the first things they come across is drop shipping. And I've heard you talk a few different times about drop shipping and the potential legal issues that creates. Can you speak to some of those and why it could be potentially dangerous to get involved with?
Yeah, I mean, drop shipping as a business model, there's nothing inherently illegal or unlawful about doing that. It's been around for a while. Some people have had incredible success with it, but it's sort of become a meme. And I think a lot of people have pitched it either intentionally or unintentionally as like, this is the simple way to just get started and you can make money and you don't really have to do very much work. In my opinion, it's not a sustainable way to build a brand for yourself. I mean, you can only, especially today, because it's so saturated, like everyone can figure out basically how to drop ship from AliExpress on YouTube in an hour if they want to learn the basics. So it's super saturated and it's hard to get traction in the first place and it can only carry you so far. I mean, how much of a real brand can you really build on if you're just drop shipping the same or one of the same products that, 100 competitors are drop shipping? So I wouldn't discourage anybody from looking into it, and people are still making it work. Like I said, there's nothing like illegal about the concept of not storing your own inventory. But I think
Okay.
people get into trouble with, well, one of the issues, especially with COVID right now, is shipping times. You need to
Mm,
be able to either ensure that you can meet the shipping deadline you're advertising. And without getting too into the weeds of why that's an issue, essentially, if you don't advertise a shipping window, then the default is you got to ship your products out within 30 days of somebody ordering it. This is one of those FTC rules that applies no matter where you are in the country. Some states have even more requirements, but the default is if you don't say, ships within 2 months, then or whatever amount of time, then you need to get it out within 30 days. And if you realize you're not going to be able to do that, there's very specific language you have to send to the customer in an email telling them about a new shipping window, giving them the ability to cancel it. And then if you can't meet the second window, there's a different email you have to send out. And you need affirmative consent to keep waiting and so on. And so that kind of issue is something that the FTC pays a lot of attention to. And some businesses have been hurt or stung pretty badly by not complying with that. And that's one of those things that I think people who are eager to get into business and the concept of being an entrepreneur and having your own business, it's so easy to just set up a Shopify store and use their sort of template terms of service and get some graphic design done and figure out your products and not think about, what happens if I don't ship out when I say I'm going to. And it's just an issue of not having the information out there for people. So that's one aspect of it is just fulfillment. Are you going to be able to fulfill all these orders? How well can you really control your logistics chain if you're relying on whoever's shipping it across the world? And then the other thing is sort of related to that eagerness to get ahead of your competition and use really aggressive marketing tactics. There's so many different ways that marketers can overly aggressively market products. So like there's rules about running sales. You can't just have a price marked down from something that you think the value of the product is. Like you have to have sold it at that higher price. Right. You can't do that. You can't run sales forever. You can't, say it has features it doesn't have. There's a whole range of things that I think a lot of people are just eager to get started. Think, okay, well, I'll get the sales and then I'll clean it up afterwards. And you're just really rolling the dice across a whole variety of issues there. And it's not just the FTC, like state law enforcement agencies are pretty active as well. I've seen smaller e-commerce stores that didn't have a lot of sales have to deal with an attorney general investigation. And even if
wow.
there's no fines at the end of the day, you got to hire a lawyer for that. And it's scary and it's stressful. And I think that because of all the hype around drop shipping, a lot of people who get into it are more susceptible to landing in that kind of situation just because those are the same people who were either pitched something that didn't advise them of these risks or they're just so eager to start having the money come in that they're not thinking about what they need to have in place first.